So today, for education, I'm going to start off by telling you about a friend of my family named Dennis Mauricio. And some of you who are here local in Eastlake, you might know who Dennis is. He's a very accomplished piano player, piano instructor. And Dennis Mauricio recently had brain cancer a couple years ago. And he had surgeries to remove the cancer, but there's always these other unintended outcomes that come with having cancer, overcoming it, and having multiple surgeries. And one of the things that he's dealing with is hearing loss. And something that he has built his life around was hearing music and playing music and performing and teaching. And Dennis dedicated a lot of his life to doing that in schools. He did that in church. He did that just locally and amongst friends and family. And so Dennis is spending part of his life now doing things with his family that are related to enjoying what you can hear and enjoying the rest of the time that you can hear. And so there's a couple things I want to point out. Well, so yesterday, Dennis took his family to the Embarcadero where they had the symphony outdoors, and he did that because they have a mutual joy for music, but he wanted to hear it while he still could. But more importantly to him was being able to experience it with his family, even though their experience was different than his. And so Dennis is spending his time doing things with his family that are hearing related, despite losing his sense of hearing and the ability to do that like you and I naturally enjoy here today. So the reason I'm saying all this, giving this story is that, we have, last week we talked about impact. Remember when I was discussing impact and I was telling you who had an impact in your life and whose life have you had an impact in? Take a minute to call someone that has had an impact with you and tell them thanks. And the week before that, we talked, now 2 weeks prior, we had talked about your top 3. What are the things you need most in your business? Who are the referral partners you might need that if you had them, it would completely change the trajectory of your life? And the truth is, these all go together. All these things are typically the same person. The person who you need in your business the most, or your business needs the most, is typically one that would have the most impact in your life because they're an amazing person. And they would do something like Dennis would do. They would put the group or the unit or the team ahead of their own interests. And so the reason I'm telling this story today is to tie all this together, but also to start thinking about your own personal and business bucket list. So the business bucket list is very simply the things you want to do in business, or you want your employees to experience, or you and your employees to experience, or you and your customers to experience, and have yet to do. So think about what that is and write it down and then make a plan for attacking it. I know that if we took time today to go around the room and every person stood and say, I really wish I could fill in the blank. I know everybody here has something that they wish their business is currently doing or will eventually do that is really important to you and vital. And I'm encouraging you today to think of those things and take action on those things before we start to lose our hearing. Before it gets to that point where we just have to do it because we waited too long, or our skill set's starting to fade, our physical ability is maybe slowing us down a little bit, or maybe the momentum in the market has changed, or our entire industry has changed. I recently had a conversation with someone else I networked with, and they had an industry change that in a day, she had to close her business because of some legal changes that happened in that field. It literally caused her to shut her doors that day, because what was coming down the line was an eventual shutdown, whether it was in 1 week, 2 months, or at the end of the year. And now she has no time to do that in her business still. So I'm imploring you today to think about Dennis in your own life and think about what things that you really want to do that you just haven't done, and make a plan to do those things. And for your business, what is it you want your customers to experience, your clients, your coworkers, or something that your business needs to stand for or to do in the community? Call it out. Be honest with yourself about what it is. The greater you are with revealing that to yourself and being honest within your business, the greater capacity you're going to have to actually do something about it. You're really going to care about doing it. So, you know, Dennis has been a really critical person in the personal life of my parents as a friend, and as a fellow musician for me as a drummer, having played music with him over the course of years. And he's really an inspiration to know. And I'm just hoping that today here as professionals we'll take the necessary steps we need to identify what it is our bucket list needs to have on it and to do something about it. So thank you for your time. If you want to talk about that more personally, more specifically about what it means to your business, just come and let me know after the meeting and we'll set up a time to talk. Thanks, guys. So from that, we're going to go ahead and immediately move right into our